going on, college basketball fans? Today we're back with another conference tournament predictions video. We got the Big East Conference here, and I love watching some tough, gritty Big East basketball. We're definitely going to get it in this tournament because there are a lot of teams that are fighting for their bids in March Madness. So they're not only fighting for the Big East championship, but they are also fighting for their bid to the Big Dance. So let's get it started. Subscribe for more college basketball content. We got more conference tournament predictions coming your way. We got more March Madness content coming your way. You don't want to miss it. Hit that sub button and let's get started. So here we do have our 2024 Big East tournament bracket. And man, there are some fun matchups. I immediately see Seton Hall versus St. John's. And I'm like, wow. Whoever can win that matchup is probably going to lock in their spot to March Madness. That is almost like I don't know if it's an eliminator, because I think like the loser is not like necessarily out of making the NCAA tournament, right? But whoever wins that game is like, okay, even if we lose in the semis to UConn, we feel pretty good about Selection Sunday, right? Like we're going to see our name on Selection Sunday. So I think this is almost like a March Madness game. It's what it feels like, and I love that. I love that, man. Butler and Xavier, that's going to be a tough, gritty matchup. Providence, they get past Georgetown most likely. Heading into the next round, though, if they're going to have to try really hard to beat Creighton. And same with Villanova. They'll definitely get past DePaul. You know, knock on wood. I'd love to see a DePaul bid steal incoming. Come on now. But Nova might have to knock off Marquette to maybe get a bid. Like, there's a lot of teams that are going to be fighting for bids that don't necessarily have to win the whole thing, but if they can get to the semifinals of the Big East tournament, their chances increase dramatically. But let's get into these predictions. First round, we got Butler, we got Xavier, and this is, other than Seton Hall and St. John's, is probably the best first-round matchup. I mean, I guess that Seton Hall game is technically a quarterfinal matchup. So, yeah, Butler-Xavier, the best first-round matchup. And really the only interesting one. Like, can Georgetown keep it interesting with Providence? I mean, yeah, and it is interesting because it's Ed Cooley going up against his former team. But I feel like Providence has that one pretty much locked down. Like, kind of, I don't want to guarantee anything, but I feel pretty confident about it. Butler and Xavier, I'm actually going to go with Xavier here in this matchup. I kind of like Xavier here. Let's lower that a little bit. I like Xavier here in this matchup. I feel like they have a pretty solid team. Like, this one could go either way. Like, I could see a buzzer beater happen in this. I could see it going to overtime. Let's go with Xavier. A slight 9/8 upset here. Butler's kind of out of the mix of making the tournament, and I think this would eliminate them here. If they lose that first round, I don't see Butler. I really don't see Butler unless they somehow upset UConn and keep on moving. I don't really see Butler making March Madness. I think Xavier here is going to knock out their chances completely, though. Next up, for our opportunity to face number 2 Creighton, we do have Providence versus Georgetown. The battle for Ed Cooley. Current team versus former team. And Georgetown just hasn't been that great this year. They're not DePaul bad, but they're, the next worst thing. And I think Providence, they are still trying to fight for that tournament bid. I'm a huge Devin Carter fan, and I like watching him play a lot. Give me the Friars in this one. Next up, we do have Villanova versus DePaul, and DePaul is going to maul everybody. Come on. We destroy everyone. DePaul, bid steal coming, but unfortunately they will lose to Villanova. Villanova, they're not a consistent team by any means, but I think that they are going to beat DePaul. I mean, DePaul is just horrible. They're one of the worst Division One. Yeah, they're probably one of the worst Division One, but they're definitely like the worst. It's between like them, Louisville, and maybe a couple other teams you can throw in there as like the worst Power 6 teams in college basketball. I don't think Nova's losing that. UConn, Xavier, that could be fun. I think UConn's going to be too good for him, too good offensively. You know Hurley's going to have an excellent game plan. He's just so hard to coach against because his offensive ball movement is just so good, and he has so much talent now. Like he's getting guys like Stephon Castle now. He's getting guys like Cam Spencer in the transfer portal now. Like they seen UConn win the national title with his great game plan of using Sonogo in the post, using Jordan Hawkins running around, and they just reloaded talent. They're doing the same thing, and it is just so hard to stop. And now that Dan Hurley has won that national title, UConn is a big brand. They are a blue blood. They're going to continue to get that talent, and that is scary. I think UConn's going to be good for a while, and I think UConn's going to make the semifinals here this year and get past Xavier. Next up, we got Seton Hall versus St. John's. I already talked about it earlier. Like the stakes for this game are very huge. Now, like I said, the loser can still get in. It is not necessarily an eliminator. I'm just saying the winner of this game is going to feel real comfortable the rest of this week, right? This is a tough one. Two really good coaches that I like. I like Shaheen Holloway a little bit more, definitely. But you cannot deny the success that Rick Pitino has had and the way he's already kind of turned around the St. John's team for the better, It's impressive. I am going to go with St. John's. As much as I love Kaderi Richmond in the Seton Hall team and want to see Shaheen Holloway back in March Madness, I'm going to go with St. John's here to win this game and kind of lock in their slot, lock in their bid here in March Madness if they can do that. Next up, we got Creighton versus Providence, and this is going to be, another great matchup. I think, Devin Carter is a beast. Josh Aduro is a beast. I think, the Bryce Hopkins injury earlier this year kind of killed Providence, a lot because he was so good. And if they had Hopkins and Aduro, that front court would be dirty, man, like it was at the beginning of the year. But Creighton's got, some dirty players as well. Baylor Shireman, Ryan Cockburner. I think Ryan Cockburner's defense is going to be huge. I think Trey Alexander's defense is going to be huge. So definitely got to put Trey Alexander on Devin Carter. I think that is just a good matchup for Creighton, and I don't see them losing that. Give me the Blue Jays. They've been great this season. Next up, we do have Marquette versus Villanova, and this is the one where I could see an upset happen. I could see a 6-3 here for sure. I think Tyler Kolek should be back, and I am going to predict this game based on Tyler Kolek playing in the Big East tournament. If he wasn't, I would maybe go Nova. I probably would go Nova. If Tyler Kolek's not playing, I think Nova's going to win. But I'm predicting this based on Tyler Kolek's playing. Him and Cam Jones go crazy. Give me Marquette. So, we have our semifinal matchups set. We have UConn, St. John's, Creighton, and Marquette. Let's start off with UConn and St. John's. St. John's locks in their spot. Rick Pitino is going to be in March Madness. But I don't think they're beating UConn. Like I mentioned earlier, I think UConn's just so good, man. Yeah, I didn't even mention guys like Donovan Clingan and Alex Caravan, and like they have a deep bench as well. Like UConn is just so tough, man. They're going to make the Big East championship game. Next up, we got Creighton versus Marquette. 2 versus 3, always a fun matchup. They split this year, 1-1 on the year. Yeah, this one could go either way. You look at the matchups, Tyler Kolek versus Stephen Ashworth. I think Tyler Kolek's better. But then you like Cam Jones, Trey Alexander. Who's better there? That's close, man. Let me know who you guys think's better, Cam Jones or Trey Alexander. I think that's close. That's close because Cam Jones is probably better offensively, especially like shooting wise, but Trey Alexander has the length and that defense. Whew. Then you got Baylor Shireman, which is a mismatch problem for Marquette. You got Ryan Cockburner versus Iguodala. Marquette's got guys like Stevie Mitchell. It's going to be a fun matchup. It could go either way. But I am going to go with the Creighton Blue Jays to win that one in their third matchup of the year and win the tiebreaker. Give me the Blue Jays. Now we have our Big East Championship game. We got UConn. We got Creighton. Who is going to win? Another one where this is the third matchup of the year, and it is going to be a tiebreaker. Creighton did beat UConn when they were in Omaha, and UConn did beat Creighton when they were at home. So it is going to be a very good one. Tristan Newton, Stephon Castle, Cam Spencer. That's tough, man. That's tough. Donovan Clingan. I feel like Ryan Cockburner has a good matchup there. Like, I feel like he's one of the guys who can stop or at least slow him down low or even him out. I think Alex Caravan stretching the floor is tough, but they could put Baylor Shireman on him. Man, this is a tough one to predict. I am going to go with UConn, but I 100% believe that Creighton can win this game and can win the Big East tournament this year. I think UConn's so good this year. It's hard to predict. It's hard to pick against them here. But, yeah, I am going to go with UConn to win the Big East tournament this year. They lost to Marquette last year in the Big East tournament championship. I think they get it this year. They've just been so good all year. I think that they won it this year. And, yeah, they win the Big East tournament. So, let me know what you guys think about my predictions. What do you guys think is going to happen? Who do you guys think is going to win the Big East tournament? And you guys subscribe for more college basketball content. And I'm out.